So Simmers, and welcome back to a brand new speed build. Today we're doing something so cool because we're building a dance studio. For those of you who are watching my Twitch streams, you'll probably know that I'm currently playing the Not So Berry Challenge. I've been playing the Not So Berry Challenge for a really long time because I do love storytelling and I'm taking my sweet time with kind of like letting all the drama unfold and stuff. But as for those of you who know about the Not So Berry Challenge, you might know that the 5th generation, aka the plum generation, actually needs to start out their life working as a doctor, but then they kind of want to follow their passion and they will become a dancer. And something that I really wanted to incorporate in the storytelling there is that it's not like they will discover dancing all of the sudden. It's probably something they've been doing their entire life, but they never really felt like they could make a career out of it. So they end up going for a doctor's career, also because maybe people in their environment have been telling them that they shouldn't be a dancer for a career, but it is definitely something they've always been doing. And something that I noticed in The Sims is that actually if you want them to gain the dancing skill, they can dance at home if you give them like a dance floor, but it's kind of hard to do that if you live in an apartment because those things are pretty big. And the other thing they can do is like watch Plumboomba videos, which is kind of like, what is it called? Zumba classes, but then in The Sims. But the other way that you can actually work on the dancing skill is to have them go clubbing and to dance a lot. And at first I thought that was going to be the way that my plum gen was going to kind of gain the most of their dancing skill, was just by going to clubs and dancing. But then I realized if you have a doctor's career, it doesn't make a lot of sense for your Sims to stay out until super late at night because they're already working really long shifts. So I figured that it would actually be really fun if I built a dance studio, because I feel like in real life a lot of people take dance classes, a lot of people like also learn different styles of dancing. I feel like a lot of the dances are in The Sims are just more like, generic is not the right word, but it's not like you can do like tango or ballet or stuff like that. So I feel like it is a certain type of dances that we have in The Sims. It's been getting more and more over the past few years, especially with things like the cowpoke dance and stuff being added. They are adding more styles to it, but it is still not like you can take a class and become better at dancing. But I did kind of want to give that vibe with this build. I wanted to build a place where your sim can go to work on their dancing skill almost as if they are taking dancing lessons. And as a kid, I used to be a sucker for shows like Dance Academy and stuff like that. So building something that like looks like it is a place where all kind of dancers hang out and there's like a space where they can work out, but there's mostly focus on different kind of dance rooms that they need to do the different types of dances. So that's kind of the vibe that I was going for. That was the vision that I had. And since my sim is living in San Myshuno, I decided to actually make the build in San Myshuno so that it was quote unquote easy for them to travel to. Obviously in The Sims, it doesn't really matter if you're traveling, you have a loading screen. So it doesn't matter if you're like traveling within the same world. But again, for storytelling's sake, I felt like it made sense that this new gym or new dance studio kind of opened up from where they live, like downstairs, so that's how they noticed it was there. And then they signed up for some dancing classes or like just get a gym membership so they could go dance there. So that was the storytelling reason of putting it in San Myshuno. And with putting it in the city, I immediately felt like that kind of dictated the style of the build that I needed to go for, because it didn't make a lot of sense to go for a very traditional build here. I wanted to definitely go for something a bit more modern. I went for, as you can see, kind of like the cubism style where you have all of those bump outs, and I used a lot of platforms in this build, not just to kind of separate the kind of create depth and layers on the outside, but also on the inside. I ended up using the tall wall height, so I have even platforms on the inside so I could make custom stairs, aka lot of platforms in here, like lots and lots of platforms. But I think it worked out perfectly fine. I have been playing in this build. You might have seen it in my Pack Legacy challenge because I also placed it there, considering I'm doing a crossover between my own Let's Play on YouTube and my Let's Play on Twitch. I'm kind of like having my two Sims become best friends, and this is kind of the gym or the place that they actually meet up. So it is in both of my saves. It is fully functional. I play tested it, which is rare for a build, but I don't always build for like gameplay specifically. I also just build for fun, but this was 100% built for gameplay and it is fully functional. So I'm going to walk you through like what is in this build so that if you want to download it, you know what you're going to get. So if you actually download this, there's going to be 4 dance studios on the bottom floor, which is going to be a regular dance studio. So I just basically made a big room where I placed 2 of the kind of like dance, I keep forgetting what they're called, like the dance mats or the dance floor things. I ended up using the ones that we got most recently, the ones that are technically invisible, because I thought it looked the best in the build. But if you don't have those, you can absolutely just replace them with any other dance floor. I know we got a couple with Get Together. I know there's one that we got with City Living. I know there is one that we got with the Horse Ranch pack. So there's multiple dance floors in the game, and you can just place either of those in that room. And then when you select it, your Sims can dance there. So that's basically what I did. And then in the other room, I placed the cheerleading mat from high school years, because I felt like that's also kind of in a way dancing. So it's fun that your Sims can build the cheerleading skill. Then I have a really small little room, which I end up adding a TV to, so that your Sim can like follow the Plum Boomba. I keep wanting to say Plum Booba. My chat on Twitch like laughed at me for this so badly, but it's Plum Boomba. So basically the Zumba classes, so that they can also follow it by going to the gym if your Sim doesn't have like the space to do a workout like that at home. And then in the final, and actually the biggest room of the entire build, I ended up making a ballet studio. I did actually get a mod for this. The mod is from Jane Simpson. I'll make sure to link it in the description box down below, because it's not just that you can use it as like decorative CC. The barre, and there's like little spots for on like the floor, but the barre bar is completely functional. They also animated a bunch of things, and it adds the actual ballet skill to your game. So you have to be open to modding, because otherwise there's no way you can make this work. And you can still download this build. I uploaded it without the CC in it, so if you download it, it doesn't have the modded things in it yet. But for my gameplay, I end up adding those things in there so that my Sims could actually start practicing ballet, which I thought was really cool, because it really fit the storyline, and it is a very like new skill, obviously, because I added it with a mod, so I've never done it before. So I'm thoroughly enjoying playing with that mod. I'll make sure to link it in the description box down below. It is a Patreon page, but it is completely free to download, and it works like a charm. So I highly recommend adding that if you're looking for a new skill for your Sim. Then something that you also noticed earlier is that I added a bunch of the green stuff on the outside, like the green wallpaper. I struggled really badly with the color scheme of this build, because I wanted it to fit in with the surrounding area of like being in the city. And as you can see, the surrounding area here is really bright, really light. So I definitely knew that I wanted to go for something with a lot of wood tones and white. But as I started building it, it started to look so plain and so boring. And I was like, I need a pop of color. And the most pops of color that were surrounding this area were either blue, like there's a lot of blue details in San Myshuno, or green from all of the plants, or pink. And I tried blue and pink, but it just didn't really work. It made it look out of place. It didn't feel like that color was right for the building. And then I found this kind of natural green, and it just brought everything together. I felt like it was super fitting for a gym as well, because these colors combined really give you that kind of like fresh zen vibe, and I really enjoyed it. So I went for this color. I also use it a bunch on the inside, and I think it really ties it all together. Then I also tried to add a bunch of like debug items and things to really make the scene fit with the city scene, so that if you're playing in this build and you actually arrive at the front door, it doesn't feel out of place. There's a lot of festivals that take place in the square in front of this build, so you're probably, if you're playing in San Myshuno, you would be seeing this build quite a lot. So I wanted to make sure that it really felt like it belonged there, and it wasn't like when you travel here, it just looks a little bit out of place, because I always feel like builds that give me that sense of it looks a little bit out of place are the ones that I end up never going to, because I don't enjoy them, and it's such a small detail, but to me that just really, really matters. Then like I also said, I also wanted to make sure that this is a gym, so it's not just a dance studio. On the second floor, I ended up adding a bunch of gym equipment. It is not a huge gym, which I also think is nice, because it makes it feel like crowded and alive when you're playing there, but there is definitely some gym equipment, so like a boxing thing. I don't know what they're called. I was gonna say boxing ball, but then I realized I don't think that's what it's called, but like there's a couple of boxing things, there is a couple of treadmills, there's a couple of workout machines, so if your Sim travels here, they can absolutely do a good full body workout. They also downstairs, there's a little lounge area where I added some sofas and like the coolers, like the fridges with all of the drinks and the juices. There's a little coffee station. I end up adding a roof terrace on the side where I have like picnic tables and stuff, and I think it looks really cute. This is like one of those gyms that I would like to travel to IRL. Sometimes these spaces in The Sims feel useless considering the fact that you don't really need that outdoor space. Like, you don't need a roof terrace in a gym in The Sims because it's not the most functional space, but it just looks really cute. And for storytelling, like the idea of maybe friends going to the gym and then them grabbing a drink and hanging out on the roof terrace just feels super realistic. And I've absolutely done it already in my Pack Legacy, but also in my Not So Berry, that I traveled here and I used this as like a hangout spot for like my Sims that were getting friends and like they were hanging out here, and they also did a workout, but it was also kind of like their socializing space. So I really, really like that. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else that I need to tell you about this build, but I feel like I got it all covered. As always, if there's any specific questions or things you would like to know, feel free to hop in the comments down below. Also, just in general, to tell me your thoughts on this build. I always love to hear what people think of the builds that I do, and if you'll be downloading it and maybe be playing with it in your own save. Again, I would love to know if you have a specific storyline in mind for a sim going here, or also if you're playing the Not So Berry challenge. I would absolutely love to hear all of it. The build is on my gallery. Like I said, I uploaded it before adding the CC, so you should just be able to download it. And then if you want to download the mod, it is linked in the description box down below, so you can just get it and also add it to that last room that doesn't have any dance specific activities in it for now. Otherwise, you can always add more dance floors to it and just use it as still like a dance studio, but without the ballet skill. My gallery ID is just Rosannatxt, so just my name here on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, all of the other platforms that you can find me on. I have the same username everywhere. And if there's anything you'd like to know, like I said, feel free to hop in the comments. If you enjoyed this speed build, if you like my videos, feel free to check out the entire playlist that I have with more of my speed builds. And just in general, if you like this build and if you like my channel, feel free to subscribe. I upload weekly videos. I have my Let's Play. I do videos on mods and all kinds of things. So basically anything The Sims, if that's your cup of tea, feel free to check out my channel and subscribe if you like what you see. And with all of that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, everyone!